So we're moving on to the second part of chapter 11. Okay, so now Al, when he found the group of teenagers, he is trying to ask for their plan, what their plan is. Will there be a boat to pull you out of the water or stuff like that, and or a mile by mile guide, which apparently they don't have. So Al says, or Troy said, I thought you were big on wilderness therapy, Al. Self-reliance and all that. We're doing everything you said. Do something great at all that, remember? So those are Troy's words to Al. He responded, big difference, Troy. Powell was a legend in his own time. You're what I call a legend in your own mind. Burn, Adam sang. Chalk up one for all, old Al. What I want to know, Pug said. Did Heather squeal on us or what? Al more or less sighed. She told me where I could find the van and about how you were going to run the Grand. I was pretty impressed, believe me. You guys have got more imagination than sense. I'll grant you that. I didn't know if I was more angry or worried. No group's ever taken off on me like that before. Individuals, yes, but never a group acting together. You're a dastardly crew. We're a dastardly crew, all right? Adam said. Did you tell the cops and the park service on us? Al hesitated for a moment, then said, I thought about it, but no, I didn't. How do we know that you're not lying? Troy asked him. Well, have you seen any evidence that the park service knows you're down here? When nobody replied, Al said, I just want to tag along, row my boat, and see you safely through. Believe it, you need me. I'm not going to be a bother, other than seeing that you abide by the park rules. We were all done eating, and Pug was up scraping out whatever all our casseroles stuck to the sides of the Dutch oven. Adam handed his blue scorpion home over to Al. Care for a chocolate? I held my breath as Al took the soap case in his hand. He knew it was some kind of a test. He looked around, trying to read us, and then he opened it up. He opened it up a little way, peeked inside, and saw the scorpion. Very deliberately, he snapped the case shut and handed it back to Adam. His face flushed in a hurry. He was pretty mad. Just as quickly he regained control. That's very funny, he said. That's the slender scorpion you've got there, Adam. There are 6 varieties of scorpion in the canyons, and that's the only deadly one. Uh-oh. Pug laughed derisively. Sure it is, Al. Al nodded toward me. Key it out in the guidebook. Over 50 deaths in Arizona alone. It's much more dangerous than a rattlesnake bite. It's got a nerve poison, and you can go into shock real quick. I was looking it up. Everything he said was there, in the guide, including pictures of the 6th scorpion. Sure enough, Adam's was the deadly one. 65 deaths in Arizona over a 20-year period. It said that the really nasty-looking one, the giant hairy scorpion, was relatively harmless. So Rita, Al seizing the initiative, where'd you get the cut and who stitched you up? She looked over at Adam. I got it from the falling meteor, and a veterinarian sewed me up. She gave Freddie a poke. Everybody was laughing. Al could see it was an inside joke. His reaction made me think how pathetic his whole situation was. Everything at his point was an inside joke. It's hard enough for a man in his 40s to boss around a bunch of teenagers in the first place, and then they take off and make a fool of him. Al kept trying to hang in there. Looks like he did a good job of it too. I haven't heard from you, Freddie. What are you up to besides practicing medicine? Run in the Grand Canyon? Freddie said with a shrug. He always seemed to avoid Al back at the base camp. He seemed to distrust authority as much as any of us. After what had happened to his father, I could understand why. How about you, Star? I'm with them, Star said simply, and you could tell that that was all she was going to say. I was proud of her. Even though she wasn't as loud as most, she was one of us and she felt okay about it. I did too. I thought how well we'd done on an unknown river, coming through one tight spot after the next, and doing it in style. Still, as Al said, we hadn't run the big drops yet. After it got dark, Troy asked Al to leave. Take a long walk. We've got to talk about it. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll yell when you can come back. Al stood up, sipped his jacket, and got his knit cap out of his pack. Fine. Just remember, what's at stake here? You guys need me. This ain't a disco. This is the Grand Canyon. Beat it, Pug said. Tell us if you find the disco, Rita called after him. We pulled in close and had our huddle. Everybody was so pumped up. Let's tie him up and leave him behind, Pug said. Ah, yes, Adam sang, the old honey and red ant's ploy. Or how about tie him up and taking him along? More possibilities. Keel-haul him, Pug shouted as he unleashed his pirate blade and stuck it between his teeth. How about if we let him run along the side? Adam continued. It would be interesting to see if he could keep up. Can't you picture him climbing up the gorge, leaping across chasms, plunging into the river? I could do it, if anybody could. How about, Rita suggested hopefully, how about if we keep him on the condition that he does all the cooking and all the dishes, unloads the boats, puts out the tents and all that? Good idea, Adam said brightly. We'll make him wear a little apron. Maybe we can improvise a maid's outfit from yucca leaves and driftwood. We'll send him out for fast food. Finally, I noticed Freddie was hugely enjoying all this. Troy, however, was too busy thinking and was missing most of Adam's routine. How about if we brainwash him? Adam went on. Turn him into a... All right, Troy said, waving his hand. We have to think. Will somebody pour water on this guy's brain? Adam, he meant. Adam gave a snappy salute. Sorry, Captain. Lost my mind for a moment. Waiting for instructions, sir. The question is, do we need him or not? Troy said soberly. Do we need him to get through the rapids? Does anybody want him around otherwise? No way, Rita said. It's more fun without him, no questions about it. Troy picked up a little stick and started jabbing it in the sand. I'd say we'd agree on that. We'd rather see if we can get through the canyon on our own, which is what we set out to do, not taking Al back in. That's not a crime, is it? Whatever we've done, we've already done. Look, you guys, we decided to run it on our own. Why should Al be showing up something change anything? I'm having a good time, Rita said. I don't want to make any deals, if that's what some of you guys are thinking. Right on, said Pug. Rita was right about me, at least. I was suddenly picturing myself in jail and thinking if we'd have Al join us here, maybe all would be forgiven. But I sure wasn't going to say it out loud, not under Troy's eyes. Look, you guys, said Troy. We don't need him. He wants to scare us into thinking we do. But we can run those big drops as well as he could. I say we take off without him in the morning. He's gonna be watching us close, Rita said. If it comes to it, we could push him off the boat. Count me out, Freddie said abruptly. I ain't wrestling with Al. Remember who this guy is? He fought in Vietnam, don't you remember? That's the war. Pug whiffed out his knife. We gotta persuade her. I was vividly recalling a certain chapter from Pug's biography. I wish we were talking about leaving him behind too. I ain't got nothing against Al. I just want to run the Grand Canyon, Freddie said. You can put the toad sticker away now, Troy said to Pug, and then turned to Freddie. So you'd rather take him along? Freddie shrugged. Can't hurt, can it? Besides, I'm not really sure we can make it through this rapid right here without him, are you? What does he know that we don't? The route, maybe. I sure don't see it, do you? No, Troy said uncomfortably. But we can pick one and give it our best. There was a level of tension where we'd never felt before, even though Freddie was trying to keep it low-key. Troy sure didn't want another mistake to having... Or sure... Troy didn't want to make another mistake like back at Storm King, when we followed him the wrong route. Freddie didn't speak a bit, then added, and then what? What if the boat both flip? That other bad rapid is only a mile downstream. Al said it was a mile downstream. Troy said, visibly offended. That doesn't mean it is. I thought, wait a minute. Troy, the mile by mile guide says it's there too. Freddie threw up his hand. It's just what I think. He knows some moves that we don't, and more about first aid and rescue. But if you want to try it out without him, that's okay with me too. You just won't help us with Al, Pug sneered. That's right, Freddy said softly. Troy hesitated, then said grudgingly, We'll let him on for this rapid, and then we'll see. It's probably not as bad down in the gorge as he said. We can pick when and where we want to ditch him. That's it for chapter 11.